Hey everyone, welcome to today's Program Yourself Thin podcast. Today we're talking about feel peace, lose weight. It's that simple. If you can feel more peaceful, you will almost guaranteed to lose weight. It's just that easy. And if you focus on it this way, I think it reframes the whole process for you in a very, very helpful way because we tend to approach weight loss in a very unpeaceful state. You're usually really upset with where you're at. You feel the way you need to lose weight is you need to fight and struggle against yourself. And it's very unpeaceful feeling. And ironically, it is this feeling, is this tension, this stress, this anger that you feel towards yourself and what you think you need to do to change your weight that leads you to feel less peaceful. And the less peace you feel, the more upset and angry you feel, typically the worse your eating becomes. So when we talk about losing weight, we're really talking about changing up your behaviors, specifically your eating behaviors. And we want to look at the deeper factors that influence your eating behaviors. Because a lot of times dieting won't pay attention to deeper factors. It just says, let's just eat better. We'll just force ourselves to eat better. But what's ultimately dictating your eating is how you feel consistently. And when you're in a state of frustration and anger, tension, stress, you pushed off more to eat more food. And when you feel more calm, peaceful, relaxed, centered, you tend to eat less food. And so we can look at even mindful eating as a philosophy, intuitive eating, being able to make better food choices. Your ability to do that really comes down to the state that you're in. When you're stressed out and upset, you don't have the same ability to make good food choices as you do when you're calm, centered, and feeling peaceful. So if you can appreciate that practical piece of feeling more peaceful, I think it starts to motivate you to want to do that because not only is it going to help you lose weight, but it feels better instantly. It is crazy how easy it is to feel more peaceful. It's one of the easiest things in the world. You could feel more peaceful right now, right this very second, if you will sit up, relax your shoulders, relax your chest, relax your stomach, relax your face, take a deep breath in, and slowly let it out. Take one more deep breath in and slowly let it out. When you do this, if you did it, you'll notice that you feel more relaxed, more calm, more grounded, more peaceful. From this place, do you not feel more in control of your eating? Do you not feel like you crave healthier foods when you feel this way? Do you not feel your desire for unhealthy foods going down when you reconnect to a state of peacefulness within yourself? And you can do it like that. It's so easy. Now, you may not be the most peaceful person on the planet. That's harder. But to feel more peaceful than you typically do, that's really easy because there's many ways you can do this. Drink some more water, get some more sleep, relax a little bit more. And the more you focus on feeling peaceful, you instantly feel better and you set yourself up to be able to eat the way that you need to eat in order to weigh what you want to weigh. But it's this way of thinking that dieting never tells us about. Dieting always tells you it doesn't matter how you feel, just force yourself to make the right food choices. But whatever access to resources you have at any moment, at any given moment in time is really dependent on the state that you're in. So it's not enough to just think we always can have a lot of willpower. You can't. If you're stressed out, you will have less willpower and ability to influence your eating than when you're calm, centered, relaxed, and feeling peaceful. Then you connect to more of your ability to make better food choices. And this is the way I would suggest that you approach your weight loss. And if you want to go deeper into this concept and this approach, click the link in my bio or go to programyourselfthin.com. Go get the hypnosis session I give you, watch the video I made, and realize that there's a different way to go about this that feels a lot better right from the very beginning than dieting. So I hope this helps you out. If anyone has any questions, feel free to ask them. Here we are on a Wednesday. I didn't even know what day it was. What day is it? Sometimes the days blur together a little bit. Some exciting things going on. What's up, Karen? How's it going? down. You still down in Rehoboth? Love Rehoboth. Can't wait to go there. Be heading there this summer. Already thinking about it. The weather starts turning a little bit. Oh, thank goodness. We're fully in spring, I would say. Although it's a little cold today, but that's all right. I'll take a little. Yeah, look at me. Look at me complaining about the cold. It's 40 degrees out. See how quickly we get we get spoiled by the good weather. Up to 40 degrees and I feel cold. So that's nuts. But how's everyone's weight loss doing? Here we are on a Wednesday. Now, what's interesting is next Monday. Next Monday is a big day for a lot of people, whether you realize it or not. Although, what is Easter? It's funny because it's always funny to me. Let's see. Easter is the 20th. Okay. So the reason I'm laughing is maybe Easter is far enough, because April 1st is another one of those markers, right? The first week of April. And so I think the 31st is Monday, right? Too bad it's not the first. Then you could start on the first and on a Monday and everything could align. You have a better chance moving forward. But anyways, it is a big time for people to kind of focus on their weight, as April 1st comes. It's, oh shit, summer's coming. Bathing suits, gotta lose the weight, so that's a big one for people to get motivated by. And I was joking about the Easter because if Easter was like the second week, they're like, oh, I would start, but here comes Easter in 2 weeks, so maybe not. But it's 3 weeks away, so maybe people will start anyways. But you got to watch out for that. That whole when do you start losing weight thing is very fascinating because, as a dieter, you're always putting off starting your diet because you hate the diet. You don't like doing the diet. And so when you don't like doing something, you avoid it subconsciously. And so part of the secret of mastering your weight, ironically, is making the plan easier so you don't hate it. Imagine that. And imagine if your strategy for losing weight had gradients to it. Okay. So you could go real strict with it if you chose to, but even if you weren't in the mood to go strict, you could still be involved with it. You could still be engaged with your weight in some way. And what if that's how you thought about weight loss? Wouldn't that be better? That's funny. Kegsmate says you start losing weight now. Yeah. Start losing weight now. If you start doing the right stuff, remember, right? Your weight's always a reflection of what you're eating. So if you're eating more, you're going to gain weight. If you're eating less, you're going to lose weight. But what dieting has taught you to do is be all or nothing. And so people will see April 1st coming and they'll get all fired. Okay, I got to do this. And they'll think they have to jump into their full on plan. And that's great. If you're motivated and you want to jump into a full on plan, all engines go, then knock yourself out. But the real secret to your weight mastery is to become all or something, not all or nothing. The real secret to weight loss and ultimate mastery is to focus on the shifting from all or nothing to all or something so that you're never nothing ever again. You're always at least somewhat engaged. And that's a concept that most dieters can't really wrap their head around because you've been conditioned your entire life to think like a dieter, all or nothing. I'm either doing it 100 miles an hour or I'm not thinking about it at all. And what you don't realize is that you can't be 100% all the time, and you won't be. And so honestly, the real thing is being able to be engaged all the time, at least on some level. And that's how you get the real results. So again, what most people think is they think all or nothing. So they think I'm a nothing, I have to go all the way to all and I have to stay here. But ironically, the real secret to mastering your weight is to go, yeah, you can go to all sometimes, but the more important piece is to go from nothing to something. That's the big thing that changes your weight more than anything else. Going from nothing to something. Because the truth is you're not all or nothing. You're mostly nothing or all. If you're like most dieters, you're usually nothing. You're usually not really in the game. And occasionally you get really motivated and fired up and start taking lots of action. So it's important to reframe that so it's more accurate. So yeah, but that's just my 2 thoughts. So if anyone has any questions, feel free to ask them. And if we got a quiet day, that's okay too, because I got a lot of work to do, as always. What's up, Leah? How's it going? The mindset can be exciting. Yes. The anticipation of getting to where you want to be is the dancing in the rain. Enjoy the process. Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. Um, it is exciting. That's just being a human. It's important to understand that dopamine's always driving you. Um, oops, sorry. Yeah, what's always driving us is dopamine. Humans have dopamine that drives their behavior. And so the important thing to understand is that you as a human need something to look forward to. You need it. If you don't have something to look forward to, you will feel depressed. So you need something to look forward to. And most of the time, what we've been trained to look forward to is food. And the interesting thing is that when people a lot of times go on a diet, they trade the looking forward to the food for looking forward to the scale going down, looking forward to get to their goal weight. So that's fine. But the problem exists that when you get to your goal weight, now what are you looking forward to? Because now you can't look forward to the food at the same level as you used to. And you can't look forward to the weight going down because you're at your goal weight. So what you can look forward to? Because you need to look forward to something. And if you think you don't, you're going to go right back to the food. So what are you going to look forward to at your goal weight? I would love if any had an answer to this. What do you think you would look forward to at your goal weight? I know in your mind, when you first start thinking about it, you think about it's going to be this utopia that you're just look forward to. I'm always going to be a state of constant bliss at my goal weight. What would I need to look forward to? But that's not how human brains work. There's a thing called hedonic adaptation. So like you get a new car, it's really exciting for a couple months. Then it just becomes your car. And it's the same thing with your weight. You get to that goal weight and it's really exciting at first and people are talking about it and it's all new and it's exciting, all the rest of it. But then you start to normalize to that weight and you're still living life. And it's not a state of constant bliss unless, you're some enlightened monk or something like that. But what you have to look forward to at your goal weight, what are you going to look forward to? Yeah. It says the slower it takes you to get there, that you feel so proud, and the harder it is, to not be there, I suppose. And I think that's true. I think slowing down is definitely, slowing down, I think is a key thing. Because what's the rush? That's another piece of it all too, is that dieting gets you in such a rush to actually get there. Actually says meeting a hot rich guy. There you go. Right? It's so funny. But that's what I mean. Like again, and I'm not, hey, that's a great goal. But it's important because it's like the weight is a means to an end. The hot rich guy is a means to an end. And the more you start to realize that, the more you can shortcut that process. If you start to really consider what your motivation is, why do you want to lose weight? What are you going to get out of that? It's not a question a lot of people ask, because a lot of people walk around just assuming that they really want to get to their goal weight. But you should reflect on that, because most people, the meaning that they have attached to their goal weight is very low. So, yeah, you take better care of anything you work hard for. Yeah, that's absolutely true. I mean, hard work's good as well. I mean, that's just a whole nother, okay, just a nice guy with a job. Very good, right? That's funny. That is funny though, Julie, right? I mean, if you think about that, like it is funny. Like even that process, like, oh, well, well, I mean, a hot rich guy. And then you think about it, well, maybe a nice guy with a job, because it's like a hot rich guy is what you've been conditioned to want, right? Just millions and millions of ads. It's just reflexive, and that's like your goal weight. Your goal weight is reflexive because, the diet industry has caused you to focus on your size. The beauty industry focuses on how you look. The medical industry just points to a spot on the wall on a graph to tell you what your weight should be. And there's not a lot of meaning in there. There's not a lot of internalized meaning that you have with your goal weight. if you haven't spent much time with it. You just assume because you think about it all the time that that's what it should be. But when you really look at it, you'll start to realize there's kind of no there. The emperor has no clothes. Your goal weight has no real meaning for you, not a deep meaning. And I know that can be a shock to you, considering how much you think about your weight. But when you really reflect on it, I can almost guarantee you that if you're overweight, your goal weight does not have a lot of meaning to you. And if it does have meaning to you, it's probably bad meaning. Meaning that if you think about your goal weight subconsciously, you think about more attention from men that you don't want, more intimacy that you don't want, situations you don't want. And you'd probably be hard pressed to really articulate and connect to the positive, meaningful reasons why you would want to lose weight in the first place. I bet you don't have any. And that is why you're overweight more than anything else. What do you think of that? You're more overweight because you're not motivated than you are that it has to do with your metabolism or your menopause or your insulin resistance. The primary reason that you're not the weight you want to be is because you're not truly motivated. Your goal weight does not mean a lot of positive things to you. Does that make sense? Now, if you're actively losing weight or at your goal weight, then it's different. But if you're overweight and struggling to lose weight, you keep thinking it's because you have no willpower or no self-control. But the truth is, you have no meaning, no positive meaning attached to your goal weight. When you think about your goal weight, it's just a number. It's just a vague, superficial idea that doesn't have a lot of meaning, which is another way to say that you weigh exactly what you want to weigh subconsciously, which can feel like a punch in the gut sometimes. And I understand that. However, it's the truth. And it's actually a good thing because it means you are still in control. It's not your metabolism. It's not your hormones. It's almost always primarily your motivation. And until you get your motivation straight and get really clear on why you want to weigh what you want to weigh, why you want to live at your goal weight, it would probably always feel like a struggle. This is so true. An insight since I always had no meaning until now. Yeah. The meaning is missing, unfortunately, for most people's weight loss. And it's ironic because, again, just because what I think a lot of people, this surprises them because they confuse thinking about weight all day and night with actually being motivated. And I think you have to make a clear distinction between thinking about something all the time and actually being motivated to make it happen. And I believe that motivation is the very first hurdle anyone who's overweight that wants to lose weight has to jump over. You've got to spend some time to articulate clearly, well, A, to recognize how motivated you are, and then get your motivation to where it needs to go. That's why in Program Yourself Thin, the first thing you do is motivation. Because if you're not really motivated, it's like having it's like putting your lawnmower engine into your car and then driving it around. It makes everything else difficult. Whereas if you got a big engine in the car, everything's a lot easier. So in essence, metaphorically, the motivation is the engine of the car. And most people have never spent much time working on their engine. You've never learned how to motivate yourself. You just assume the motivation's there, and it's not. And this is an important point to understand because if you think you really are motivated at the highest level to lose weight and you're not, then what happens is you create a belief that no matter what I do, no matter how much I want it, I can't get the results. And that's a very disempowering thought. It's a limiting belief that sets you up for failure because it's not true. I've never seen that be true. The core reason you're not losing weight is because you're consuming too many calories. So you need to reduce your calorie consumption. Now, your willingness to do that comes down directly to your motivation. And your motivation comes down to how you think of this process. And most of you, when you think of your goal weight, you have a vague, fuzzy idea of it at best. And at worst, when you think of your goal weight, it makes you nervous and scared because you don't want attention from men. You don't want the pressure of being that person. And this is one of the big reasons why you're struggling to weight more than anything else. And I know it's odd because with dieting, you never go to this part. Because dieting, the answer is always the same. It's willpower. It's always the same answer with dieting. Right? Just make yourself do it. No pain, no gain. Just force yourself. Fight against yourself. And so dieting just assumes this limited motivation and then expects you to make up for your lack of motivation with extra willpower to force yourself to do it. But if you take a step back and focus on your motivation, you don't need as much willpower. Now, again, there's other pieces of the puzzle, but the motivation's one of the biggest. Because as Tony Robbins says, with a strong enough why, you can figure out anyhow. And you certainly can figure out the weight one. What's up, Vicky? Happy Wednesday. Yeah, Wednesday. I'm losing sight of the days here because I'm kind of ahead of things. With work, things are kind of settling down, life's settling down a little bit. So I'm kind of getting ahead of things. And then now, getting to some of the bigger projects I've kind of put on hold there for a little bit. Super duper, kaduper exciting. And I will let you know. I'm not going to say it yet. I'm tired of saying things and not doing them. So I'm going to do it first, and then I'm going to tell you once it's done. That's what I'm going to do. I'm going to keep the energy inside of me and use that energy to create the thing that I got ready coming down the pike for you. But it's super exciting. Super duper exciting. All right. No more questions. So I'm going to wrap it up. Very good. All right, everyone. If you're not in my world, go click the link in my bio. Go get the hypnosis session I give you. Watch the video. Check that stuff out. I'm here every day live, Monday through Friday, usually around noon Eastern. It's also a podcast. Program yourself in if you want to listen to it. Go check it out. Have a super day. We'll talk soon. Bye.